I just realized that everyone's gonna know if my predictions were wrong now. Good evening. When I was asked to host this video, I was simply thrilled. It has always been my dream to stand in my living room in front of a green screen and pretend to be presenting at the Oscars. For those who don't know me yet, I'm Nina KASKAR, or sometimes called Miss Scarlet in the study around the interwebs. Award season is my favorite season. It's that magical time of year where I watch as many nominated films as I can in a very short period of time. It's that time of year where I cry over my favorite movies and directors getting snubbed, and it's the time of year where I get overly dressed up to sit on my couch to watch an award ceremony. So today I will be giving my predictions on who I believe will be taking home Oscars this weekend, as well as who I think should take home the Oscar. And as an added bonus, I will be presenting the Scarlet Awards tonight for movies that were not nominated that I believe deserve way more respect. Uncut gems. Sorry. And let's be honest, the Scarlet Award is way more prestigious than an Oscar. Our first category of the night is Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are... Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to say that. Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. So I predict that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to take home the Oscar, while I think Marriage Story should take home the Oscar. So tonight I will be presenting the Scarlet Award to movies that did not receive their deserved medal or recognition. Now, the Scarlet Award for Best Original Screenplay for movies that did not get considered by the Academy goes to Yesterday, written by Richard Curtis. Now we take a look at Best Adapted Screenplay. Up for the Oscar is The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes. I cannot tell you how much I want Little Women to win this category, and I'm going to predict that it will. Since Greta Gerwig was not nominated in the directing category, I think they're going to give her a win here. And the Scarlet Award for Best Adapted Screenplay goes to Fighting with My Family, based on the book by Max Fisher. And now the nominees for visual effects. Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I'm thinking that this category is going to be a toss-up between Avengers Endgame and The Lion King, but I'm going to put my official prediction on Avengers Endgame. As for who I think should win the award, I'm kind of torn because I think Star Wars should have a better chance at this, but Endgame was so fantastic visually that I won't be mad if it wins. This is a no-brainer. We all know that the Scarlet Award for Best Visual Effects goes to Cats. I'm totally kidding. I am honored to give this award to Spider-Man: Far From Home because some of those scenes are just so brilliant to look at. Next up, we have the category for Production Design. The nominees are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I am almost 100% certain that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to win this category. As for who I think should win, it's gonna be Jojo Rabbit by a landslide. This movie made me laugh and cry, and the setting and design of this is flawless and really ties the whole movie together, and I think it deserves a better shot here. But I think people voting for the Oscars are more likely to choose Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the Scarlet Award for Best Production Design, overlooked by the Academy, goes to Ready or Not. And our next category is Best Original Song. The nominees for this category are I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away, Toy Story 4, I'm Gonna Love Me Again, Rocket Man, I'm Standing With You, Breakthrough, Into the Unknown, Frozen 2, Stand Up, Harriet. I did mull this over in my head for a very long time, and I'm going to go with my final prediction being that Rocket Man is going to take home the Oscar for Original Song. And while it's such a beautiful song, I'm going to go with my personal pick being Into the Unknown. I love the song and I love what it does for the movie, and I think it deserves to win this. So the Scarlet Award for Best Original Song that was not nominated this year goes to Speechless from Aladdin. On to the next category for excellence in music. We're going to talk about original score. The nominees for original score are Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. My final prediction is that Joker is going to win the award for original score. The original score category this year was very difficult to choose a favorite. I think if I'm going to pick something that I think should win, it's going to be Little Women, just because of how I felt watching it. I think the music drives the story and the emotion, and it's just a beautiful piece of art. The Miss Scarlet Award for Best Original Score is going to the equally beautiful and terrifying music from Miss BALA. So one of my favorite categories, makeup and hairstyling. The nominees in this category are Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and 1917. This is also a very difficult category for me to pick a prediction. I can very easily tell you which one I think should win, but I don't really know who is going to win. My first instinct is to say Bombshell because of how great the makeup is in this movie. And it's who I think should win. I have a small part of me saying that Judy might win though. I'm gonna go with my final prediction being Bombshell, with the idea in mind that Judy might come in out of nowhere. The Miss Scarlet Award for Excellence in Makeup and Hairstyling is going to go to a film that I'm surprised was not nominated for anything this year, and that is Dark Waters. Now for Best International Feature Film. The nominees for International Feature Film are Corpus Christi, Les Miserables, Honeyland, Pain and Glory, and Parasite. I think that Parasite is going to win and should win and deserves to win in this category for brilliance in all areas. But I will make a side note that Pain and Glory was just as beautiful in a completely different way, and I really wish it had a better shot in this category. It may be bending the rules for me to give this award to an animated feature film. I make the rules, never mind. The Scarlet Award for Best International Feature Film this year goes to Weathering with You, which I think should have been nominated in the animation category but wasn't. And now we get into one of the really big categories, directing. The nominees for Best Director this year are Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Todd Phillips for Joker, and Sam Mendes for 1917. My prediction is that Quentin Tarantino is going to take home the Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And who I think should win actually does still have a shot of winning, and that's Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. I think because Parasite will not win Best Picture, they might give Bong Joon-ho the award for directing. I'm presenting the Scarlet Award for Best Director to the Safdie brothers for Uncut Gems. The next category of the evening is cinematography. The movies nominated for Best Cinematography are The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So there is only one movie in this category that I think deserves this award by a landslide, and if it does not win, I may be very upset this Sunday. So this was the easiest category for me because there's only one movie in this category that I think should win, will win, deserves to win, and if it doesn't win, I may throw a fit. 1917 needs to go home with the Oscar this weekend for cinematography. It is the sole movie in this category that was completely breathtaking to me. The shots are gorgeous, and then on top of it are taken in such a fluid motion in one take, and it needs to win cinematography. End of story. And the Scarlet Award for Best Cinematography goes to Honey Boy. And now we go on to the acting categories. The nominees for Best Actress in a Supporting Role are Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell, Laura Dern, Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh, Little Women, and Margot Robbie, Bombshell. I predict that Laura Dern is going to win for Marriage Story, which is very well deserved. My personal pick for who should win this category is Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit. Taking home the Scarlett Award tonight for Best Actress in a Supporting Role is Dakota Johnson in The Peanut Butter Falcon. And now we move on to Actor in a Supporting Role. Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes. Al Pacino, The Irishman. Joe Pesci, The Irishman. Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'm predicting that Brad Pitt is going to win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. My personal pick is going to be Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood because it's such a shame that it didn't get nominated in more categories, and he was just brilliant in this movie. The Scarlett Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role goes to Shia LaBeouf, Honey Boy. And now for Actress in a Leading Role. Cynthia Erivo, Harriet. Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan, Little Women. Charlize Theron, Bombshell. And Renee Zellweger, Judy. This is such a difficult category because all of these women are phenomenal. I'm going to tentatively guess that Scarlett Johansson is going to win for Marriage Story. My personal pick is clearly Saoirse Ronan. She's amazing in everything and I loved her in Little Women, but I think that Scarlett Johansson is going to take home the Oscar for Marriage Story. The Scarlett Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role goes to Jillian Bell for Brittany Runs a Marathon. And now for Actor in a Leading Role. The nominees for Best Actor are Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Adam Driver, Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes. My prediction is that Joaquin Phoenix is going to win for his performance in Joker, which is absolutely amazing and well deserved. In my personal opinion, I think Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory was fantastic and definitely should win an Oscar for his performance. I am presenting the Scarlett Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role to Bryan Cranston from The Upside. Now we're at the big one. The nominees for Best Picture for the Oscars this year are Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. This category is loaded with all kinds of talent from all different genres. My prediction for Best Picture is going to be 1917. My personal pick is going to be Little Women because I will stand by my statement of Little Women being my favorite movie of 2019. It is gorgeous and fun and heartbreaking and I absolutely love it. While it may not win Best Picture at the Oscars, it wins Best Picture in my heart. The Scarlett Award for Best Picture goes to a movie I've already awarded tonight and I can't get over that was not nominated this year, and that's Uncut Gems. I will never understand why it does not deserve to be on this list of equally accomplished films. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you've had a good time tonight, consider clicking that subscribe button so that you are the first to see all new content. Have a wonderful evening, my lovely people, and I will see you at the after party.